Hey guys, I think I'm actually live right now, so I'm just gonna get started. I need to get a little more organized about this, and I'm still getting a system going for that. Um, so we'll be with you in 1 minute. I just want to um, make sure I invite everybody. Okay, so I think we got everybody in the loop here at this point. Um, at least I hope so. I'm sending out 2 more text messages, and then I want to start the class because I don't know who's actually on board right now. Um, yeah, so let me see. Dustin. And we have his numbers. Okay, everybody. So sorry about the delay. Seem to always run a few minutes late, but okay. Hey, Demetrius, just bringing you on too. So we got a bunch of people on StreamYard here, where Demetrius is, a bunch of people on YouTube. How's everyone doing? Anyone got any news from this last week? Any progress? Demetrius? No, nothing.
No, I didn't get anything yet.
All right. So basically, today's class is all about, and I'm just going to look at my my timer here. Okay, so 43 minutes. I had about 13 minutes. I was actually on the air while I was getting the links out because I'm running a little bit behind. My VA is actually going to keep me on track next week, but we are going to move a little bit later next week because we do have one West Coast person joining us. So we're going to move probably to 11:30. I'm trying to work that out right now. Won't move too much later because I know the East Coast people all have jobs too, so we're trying to balance it. Anyway, I'll get you the times out there, and this is the permanent link. This link will always work. I'm not bouncing links around anymore. So, all right. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to go through. Oh, YouTube, Anna. Yeah. So that's great that you got your Facebook and your phone number set up. The next thing you want to do is you want to start building your Facebook profile out, and you want to make it all real estate. Remember, the whole reason for the fake profile or the additional profile of the business page is so you don't have all that family stuff on there. Family stuff isn't bad, but especially in this very politically charged climate, any kind of personal positions will just turn people off, and you just need to stay away from it. What I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of role play today, although kind of one-sided role play. I'll play both sides on what a call with a seller looks like, and in terms of what that conversation, I guess, how that conversation goes. So most of our communications start with a website link, or they start with people filling out a form, or they start with some electronic connection. That may not be your experience. You might do cold calls, you might do postcards, you might do a whole bunch of stuff. But the point is, as soon as reasonably possible, you want to get on the phone with, and by the way, you want to get on the phone with the seller. Now, by the way, here are the most popular categories when you're buying lists or looking for data. And if you are interested in doing that, talk to me. I'll get some data providers. We can let you use PropStream. We can skip trace them real cheap for you. But anyway, so here are the most popular data provider categories. Vacant. So tired landlords. Some data providers actually have a category called tired landlord, which is basically landlords who own a property for a long time. If you can get your code officers in your communities to release the list of code violations, a lot of times that requires just calling them. Some towns actually have a subscription service. You can subscribe and get the code violations. In Pennsylvania, that doesn't work that way. You have to write a right to know request, which the town can still deny. But usually if you write a right to know request and say we would like all the code violations for and it's in Pennsylvania, by the way, it's town by town. You can't write one for Pennsylvania, get all the Pennsylvania towns. You've got to go Nanticoke. I want your, these are all tiny towns around me. Nanticoke, Pittston, West Nanticoke, Plymouth, West Plymouth. Code officer by code officer. Now, sometimes the code officers cover a few towns because these are tiny little towns. And there's a right to know request form. It's a formal, they call it a sunshine law. It's a law originally started to keep governments from hiding crap. And you're just saying, hey, give me your code violation list. So it's code violations. I'm trying to get the window out from behind me. It's code violations. It's absentee landlord, meaning absentee owner. I won't say absentee landlord. The category when you go to a data provider is absentee owner. It's pre-foreclosure, pre-NOD. That's pre-notice of default, which is pre-foreclosure. It is high equity, low equity. I don't usually play in those fields. I do play a lot with vacant and out-of-state owner. And a little bit, probates are fun. Well, probates aren't fun because someone died, but probates can be useful, but a lot of times when you're dealing with heirs and stuff, they're all going to want the highest value. So probates are a coin toss. So really the ones I've mentioned are great starting points. Anybody who wants access to the training videos that I actually learn from, let me know. I can figure a way to get you set up with those. But anyway, what I want to do today is I want to cover a sample phone call, a sample seller phone call. And really, I'm going to be both sides of it. This isn't like a real role play. We'll do one of those in the future. But I want to walk you through what it sounds like. So there'll be 499 calls where it'll go nowhere. You know, especially if you're dialing from cold list. You'll pick up the phone. Hey, Mary, this is Steve with Hunting for Homes. How you doing today? Whatever, get through the preliminaries. Yeah, I understand you might be interested in this, how you exactly break this ice. Hey, you filled out my form on the website. Hey, you responded to my postcard. Hey, came across that you own this property over here in Somethingville. However you get into the conversation. So we'll start with the coldest one. Hey, Mary, it's Steve. Looks like you own 123 Main Street in Somethingville, and you haven't lived there in a long time. And from the satellite pictures, it looked kind of vacant. Oh yeah, that was it. Okay, well, you know, I'm a real estate investor. I'm a cash buyer. My business partner is a real estate broker. You know, could we talk about doing something with the property? Hey Dom, welcome. So, and I will be.
How you doing?
Hey, buddy. Did you have any updates or any news from the last week or anything you wanted to kind of fill us in on that you did on your real estate adventure?
I'm new to the program here. This is my first time joining you guys.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. So basically, I'll send you the links to the last couple of videos. You can catch up. But basically, we are just what we do here is this is the weekly training for the people who signed up to be our JV partners. And basically, I'm a broker, an investor, and whatever. And I'm kind of walking through it. And I don't want to derail everybody else, but I'm kind of walking through real quick. I'll catch up with you separately. Feel free to hang on and just kind of ask whatever questions. I'm doing a sample phone call. So when you get on with the seller and you get past the preliminaries of, hey, you know, why are you calling? And you get to the point of, well, I see you own 123 Main Street. Would you ever consider selling that? Oh, I don't know. Who are you? Well, I'm a real estate investor. I'm a cash buyer. My partner is a real estate broker. We own some properties. You know, what we do in each case kind of depends, but you know, if you'd be open to it, we could talk about things. And obviously every response is going to go wherever it goes, but well, not really 123 Main Street, but my mother's looking to sell 126 Main Street, and it's in pretty bad shape. So, Dom, that's weird. You went away. Okay. Anyway, that actually never has that happened before, but so 123 Main Street. Yeah. So tell us about that house, and the order of these questions is irrelevant. You have the list of questions. Anybody that needs it, let me know. By the way, next week we're going to have a special section on the wholesalebroker.com with all of our resources. I need to add. I'm in the process of adding that. The wholesalebroker.com is sort of our central pinpoint, and also this week we're going to be getting everyone signed up onto a Facebook group, so we can all be in our own little private Facebook group. But yeah, so 123 Main Street. So tell me about the house and tell me about the situation. Well, mom's getting older and she's, you know, about to go into a nursing home. You know, and you know she's behind on taxes. The mortgage company's calling. It's really kind of a bad scene. Okay, well, we can definitely find a way to help you out with that. Almost definitely, whatever you want to say. And you know, so can you tell me about the house? And they take you on sort of a virtual tour of the house. You know, well, when you walk in the front door, what's it feel like? Oh, it's a big living room. Okay, you know, kitchen this, bathroom that. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to find out, does everything work and doesn't it? You're trying to find out what they think of the home. You'll get a lot of the value of the home from, well, you know, the carpet's kind of crappy and my father never fixed the hole in the floor, and or, well, you know, she just spent $100,000 last year renovating it. So, you know, it's a perfect home. There's nothing wrong with it. You'll also get a lot of feeling for how much they love the home and how much their emotional connection is to it. Now, anytime they say the mother or whatever, you always clarify, well, we can certainly talk about that, but we have to talk to the actual owner to make any decisions. Because it's only the deeded owner that can make the decisions. And when you're going through the home tour part of it, what I call it is, and you're always listening for their story. You're listening for, that's the room my father was shot in. You're listening for, you know, whatever, what the problems are. I think I told you guys the story where I had a double that I went to years ago. And I'm walking through this double and the guy's describing it. He is ripping this house apart. Now, I'm looking around at this double and saying, okay, it's kind of outdated, kind of average, but it's nothing to rip apart. And I'm all set to offer him 30 grand. That was the going rate for a functional side-by-side double in that town at that time. But he'd been ripping it apart so bad and talking about how much the house sucks and it's draining his life and every this. I mean, it was physical stuff he was pointing out, but it was also just, well, you know, if that hadn't happened, you know, my dog wouldn't have run away and I wouldn't have lived a country song. So at the end of it, I just got to him and said, well, all right, so, you know, where are you at numbers wise? He's like, if you can do it in 2 weeks, I'll take 10 grand. Okay, you know what? Give me 4 days. I'm going to come back here with some of my partners. In 4 days, I'll have an answer for you. So actually, what I did do is I actually ripped out a contract right then, took the building for 10 grand. And said, okay, in 4 days, I'll bring my partners.
Hey, Steve, you froze.
Okay, can everybody hear me? All right. Sorry, I had a little power outage here. My computer battery went. Anyway. All right, so we're back. Sorry, a little power outage here. Anyway, so ended up signing it up, selling it in 4 days for 30 grand. So I made 20 grand, and because the guy told me what he wanted, basically what it came down to. So, so you're on the phone with them, you're walking through the conversation, room by room, they're describing it, and of course, at some point you're saying, can you send me pictures, can you send me pictures, can you send me pictures? Because we like to try to figure out what a property is worth before we go there. Meanwhile, you're on Google or whatever, and you're Googling the address, and you're going to, and you're in the spreadsheet, you are going to fill in all the information. Now, you're not trying to do this live. Okay, guys, don't try to do this live. Don't try to fill in the spreadsheet live. Google it, open up all the links, open up the Zillow link, open up the Realtor.com link, the MLS link if there is one. Open up all the links and review them. Do not trust the Zestimate. Zestimates are useless. So never say, well, the Zestimate says your house is worth. No. On this first phone call, you're not giving a value. You guys aren't trained to give a value yet. But you are getting to know the neighborhood. And you take the tour on the house. Then you ask them, okay, guys, okay, lady, what, you know, what works, what doesn't? How old's the roof? 5 years. How old's, you know, I just did the kitchen a few years ago. Okay, who was president? Reagan. Okay, that's not really a few years ago. You know, I just updated the bathroom. Well, my daughter was 3 and she's 49 now. So, I mean, those are the way people remember things. That's just simply a human condition. Where'd you go now? And so you're going through so you've gone through the tour of the home. and kind of gone room by room and understood, it's a small bedroom and there's steep stairs and you got to be a mountain goat to climb the stairs and whatever. And then you're going into the systems. How old is the roof? How old is the furnace? What kind of heat is it? Is it gas? Is it oil? Is it something else? Is it steam? Okay, well, I don't know if it's steam or what it is. Well, have you got those radiators in the corner? Yep. All right. Well, it's either steam or water, and we can figure that out later. You don't need to nail them down on that. Does everything work? Well, my son lives there. Okay, does everything work? Well, no, there's no heat, but he still lives there anyway. He uses, space heaters. You want to get all the details you can on the physical. Meanwhile, you're looking at the other properties. And again, you are not to talk to them about this live, but I'm going to show you real quick. When you're looking at Zillow, I think I just let me just make sure I brought it online, because otherwise you guys are not seeing what I'm seeing. Okay, you are seeing it. Okay, good. So if I go to Zillow, we don't care what this estimate says. So here's the Zillow pop-up, and here's the estimate. That's not what's relevant. What's relevant is what's behind the Zillow pop-up. Sold, similar home types. You use this search.
I can't see it, Steve.
Oh, it opened a new window. Thank you. All right, so while you're on the phone with them, you're looking at Zillow and you're chatting and you're keeping the conversation going, but you're on Zillow or Realtor.com, and you pop to the layer underneath the pop-up. When you enter an address, you probably saw that part. When you enter an address, Zillow pops that property up and shows you this estimate. So, for example, this is what it looks like when you first enter an address. It pops this up, and it shows you this estimate. You pop under that, you get rid of that screen, and it shows you this one. And here you want to see only sold. You don't care about price range. You put in similar beds and baths, if it's whatever. You put in home type, check off the home type, and then you hit the search. And it will show you what's sold and you want to be close to the address. You want to be, within certain square feet, certain lot size, certain year built. You want to make as much of a thing, and I thought they had a radius in here, but I guess they don't. So you want to be within a half mile, 6 months. And you're just trying to see what else in the neighborhood sold. Oh, 3-bed, 1-bath, whatever. And so as she's describing it, you're getting a little understanding of the neighborhood. And you're taking notes. You don't have to do this looking at Zillow part now. If your brain can handle it, great. If you can't, fine. So what you're doing while you're talking with her and you're engaging and you're building rapport, you're getting physical data, but you're really building rapport, is you're now understanding a little bit about her neighborhood and her market. So then you say, okay, well, here's how we work. My partner's a broker. We do want to have a conversation with our partners. Can you send us any pictures? So we will get back to you tonight or tomorrow with an actual price. But let me just understand, because I see some competitive things on the market that have sold in your neighborhood. 104 Lloyd's Lane, a three bedroom, 1-bath in Wilkes-Barre. Is that neighborhood like yours? Is that similar? Same school district? How does that compare? Oh, I know that house. My sister. So you're continuing to build rapport, but you're understanding, why does 204 Noble Lane at 173, and these are 173, a much smaller house on Noble Lane versus a larger house sold for a lot less. So you're trying to get a feeling for her and her neighborhood and what she thinks of her neighborhood and whatever. All of this is building value, building rapport, and also gaining an understanding. So when you go to your spreadsheet and you fill in our spreadsheet with all the data, you're going to include all those notes. So really, this is an information gathering. What works, what doesn't, describe the house to me, that kind of stuff, basically. I don't know how else to put it. And then you're just going to explain the process. Say, listen, you understand that we are investors, we're cash buyers, we're also real estate brokers. One of the questions in how you ask this vary, all these questions vary. There is no like, this must be the word. But at some point, you want to get to the point of saying, so you're looking for a cash offer? Yes, I am. Okay, great. Well, you understand because I'm an investor, I have to make money too. And there's other expenses I have that a normal homeowner wouldn't have. Yes, I get it. Okay, so you understand that my offer may not be as high as that of somebody who's going to live in the home and love it the way you did. Oh, well, I kind of thought cash offer meant I get the full value right now. Well, we can help you as a listing agent in that capacity, but we can't help you in this capacity, because I have to make money. If your neighbor sold for $173,000, and that's kind of where I need to be. All right, well, if I'm going to sell it for 173, then I can't buy it from you for 173. And you can see 173 is a fairly nice, dipped in gold is the best I'm going to do in that neighborhood. And again, we're not telling her that, but like, a well-appointed home sold for 173, that's the retail value. I obviously can't pay you 173. Oh, well, I really need every dollar. Okay, well, let's switch the conversation. My partner will talk to you about possibly listing the home for you and as opposed to, some other variation of it where they say, I really don't care what I get from home. I just need this thing out of my life. And then, okay, fine, that you get this thing out of your life and we'll give you less money for it. So you're crossing that bridge, because if they're absolutely stuck on the top dollar and then you say, well, we can help you list it, and they're absolutely stuck on, no, I don't want the realtor crap, well, then we have nowhere to go with. If they're absolutely stuck on top dollar, we may or may not list it for them, because we may not, even though I'm licensed in the entire state of Pennsylvania and some of us are licensed elsewhere, when it comes to listings, you really only handle listings near you. So, but we at least, that's one more note to go in the system to let us decide, to let me decide, is, where's their heads at. You also then ask, what's their mortgage? How much mortgage do you owe? Are you behind on your taxes? Are you behind on your mortgage? Are you under the gun by anybody for any reason? And this is a two-pointed question. First of all, and you will not give this answer on the first call. I'm stressing you're not giving answers on this first call. But if we saw, and I'll go back here again, if we saw that things were selling, it was 104, well, this is really have a bad neighborhood, things were all 104.91. If everything was around 104.91, whatever, 90, if that's everything that sounded like this house, and she had a mortgage well over that, well, then when I call her back the next day with you, I'm going to be telling her, well, we have a problem. Your mortgage is way above what we can possibly offer. And I just did one yesterday where we're getting it for like 80 grand less than their mortgage because they're just that screwed. And so anyway, so you want to find out where their mortgage is at. What are their pinch points? Are they behind on taxes? Are they behind on insurance? Insurance, utilities don't matter, but usually if they're behind on those little things, whatever. So you're looking for ballpark. You're looking for, if they don't have a mortgage, great. Well, would you be open? And these are, I'm getting to more advanced questions that you may or may not ask, but have you ever thought about what you're going to do with the money, when you sell? Oh, I've got so many bills, or, oh, actually, it's going to be a lot of money. I've got a lot of tax problems. No problem. We can help you with that. You're just trying to understand some about them and letting them know that you're not the typical wholesaler trying to nab it and resell it and flip it and move on. And we're trying to figure out if we can do the deal. So at that point, that's pretty much all you're accomplishing. Everything else we can accomplish on a more advanced phone call, and we will do that with you. And again, you're not alone on these phone calls. So you need to just remember that you're not alone on these phone calls, meaning your first few phone calls, don't do them alone. It literally means you're not alone. It literally means when you reach them and they say they want to talk, okay, great, let me put you on hold, see if I can dial my partner in. make that sound like you're not transferring a call, like you're not a call center, but I really want to help you with this, but I really think we should, whatever. Get me on the phone until you're comfortable. And again, it's the doctor game. It's the see one, do one. It's the watch one, do one, be on your own. More like watch 5, do 5, you're on your own. Whatever you feel comfortable with. You're gonna be on the phone taking notes and watching me do it, and then I'm gonna be on the phone listening to you while you do it and take notes, and then you're probably comfortable doing it on your own. So that's how the first phone call goes. Now, what happens after that is you text me and say, hey, listen, on my spreadsheet, line 12, I just got this one. And I'll run, or you call me, text me, call me, whatever. And you run the comps, and we go from there. And I will run the comps. I'll talk to you. And you also, on that first phone call, do ask them for pictures. Or if they say, oh, look at Zillow, the pictures are exactly the same. Great. We just need something to see. And then we'll call them right back, same day, next morning, whatever. And we will say, so we looked at your home, here are the comparable values, and I'll walk them through how the math works. And next week call, we are going to spend the entire time, we're going to spend a whole hour on the math. Not that I'm expecting you to do the math, but I want you to know what the math is. In a single, and I'll bring this back up on the screen one last time. In a single, this market's all over the road. But if I say 173 is dipped in gold, gorgeous, top of the mark, everything you want, it's 173. I'm going to round that to 150 because it's an easier number to work with. But also, if the comps are 150 to 200, I'm going to go at 175. But for math purposes, I'm going to make it 150. If dipped in gold is 150, so the most a flipper can do is 150, or not the most. A flipper can do 140 to 160, so we're picking 150. We're staying in the middle. A third of that goes away, and people are like, oh my God, you're making 30% profit. No, I'm not. I got to pay my lender 12%. I got to pay my realtor on the way out. I got to pay my closing costs on the way out. I'm going to make about 10%. But basically, if I'm going to sell it for 150, the flipper is going to sell it for 150, not us, the guy at the end of the rainbow. Then, taking a step back, we got to be done for 100. The flipper has to be done for 100. Bought, fixed, done, everything in it. 50,000 in work, the flipper can buy it from us for 50. Means we got to get it for like 40. So if she's saying she owes 90 and we got to get it for 40, we got a problem. So I'll walk in the math later, but right now on this first phone call, this is what you need to be focusing on right now. You need to be focusing on getting in front of sellers. And again, I can give you some data to call. We can buy you some more data to call. You can buy data to call. You can have bandit signs printed up. And I'm going to go real quick to a website. I'm going to show you what bandit signs are. We all know them, but it's these, basically. It's these. You put these all over your town. And this is why you have 2 business numbers. The business number you want to keep forever does not go on these. Your other business number goes on these. I mean, in the beginning, you only need 1 business number, but whatever. Because if the city gets mad at you, you want that number to be able to get thrown away. So like I have 798-7051, and I have a whole different number for my business numbers, for my bandit signs and crap. We are doing postcards. And these are our, okay, this is my warehouse mobile home park postcard. Postcards are fine. This also works as a flyer. This works as a lot of things. So you can do that. In Facebook groups, getting people, build a website. Getting people to call you is the hardest part of the conversation. But it can be done. And it can be done well. So right now, your job is to get these conversations going. You tell me what you need, how what you're missing, what you don't feel like you have enough guidance on, whatever. 'Cause right now, your job is to be getting phone calls, conversations, communications, text messages, smoke signals, I don't care, with people who have property to sell. Now, you can also go after it the other way, and you can go after it and say to your friends, hey, have you ever made $250 in 5 minutes? No, how can I do that legally? Okay, let's be legally here. You can always make it in weed. But they can make it because they'll be out there on the streets looking for you. Because if they find you a deal at closing, it's $250. Also, if you're dealing in Pennsylvania or many other states that have real estate wholesale licensing laws, you should also be starting to work on your real estate licensing. And if you need guidance on how to get licensed, call me. There's ways of working around the license, but we strongly recommend everyone get licensed. All right, so that's about all I had planned for today. Any questions? Anything anybody needs to know?
Yeah. Can you put the spreadsheet in chat?
Yep. Hang on one second. Let me pull up the sheet real quick. Let me go over to sheets. Where's sheets? Sheets is over here.
And the data too. I wanted to know how to get more data.
All right. So have you called the stuff I sent you?
Okay.
No, I'm saying, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So then do that first. Do you have those?
Yeah, I still have them.
I'm confused.
You said, do I have those? I said, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if you have them, call them first, and then when you
Yeah.
get through them, then I'll get you more.
Okay.
And let me pull up the. Oh, that's not it. Hang on. I'm trying to pull up the right. I'm trying to put the right spreadsheet in chat for you. JB Deal Tracker. All right, give me a second. I'll pull up the right spreadsheet for you, and I'll put it in chat right now. Any other questions?
No, that'll be all. Just that.
Okay. All right. All right. So that's that one. Let me get the other one. All right. Oh yeah. Dustin. Yeah, you're an unusual case, Dustin. First of all, you're Alabama, but also with your current operation, we got to talk separately about how you want to transition over. So I'll call you in a bit. Yeah, I'm just having trouble remembering what I called that sheet. Let's see. All right. And what I'll do is so I will just give me 1 second to pull this up rather. Basic wholesale sheet. Sorry, I should have pulled this up ahead of time. Just give me a second here. Actually, let me just send this link over to you, which is the exact same. You know what? Let me actually copy this list because I don't want to. Always, whenever you get a sheet from me, the first thing you do, and I'll put this in the screen right now, is the first thing you do is you make a copy of it and you name it for yourself. That way, whoever's sheet this is a clone of, you don't mess up. And you have your own, and we know exactly where it is and exactly what it is. And then you will hit share, and you'll see name, address, town, offer amount, seller wants, condition, notes with whatever, email, photos link, units, beds, age of roof, prop stream, age of systems, MLS link, prop stream link, Zillow, Realtor, Google Maps, all of them. As much of this as you can get. And do not do this. I got to remind you guys, somebody do it this week. do not do this on the phone while you do not try to be talking and looking stuff up and having a conversation and it's gonna make your head explode, and it's just gonna make the phone call go really weird. So this is the link for that. Just tell me when you got it, Demetrius.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
All right, cool, guys. I will. So next week, I'll clarify the time. It's probably going to be 11 instead of 10:30. And we'll go from there.